Nanritam family, the one who has been with Nanritam from the very first day, former Chief Secretary of West Bengal, Shri Ashok Mohan Chakraborty, to introduce Nanritam to the guests who have been here for the first time. Sir, please.
My hearty welcome to the eminent educationists, other distinguished guests, the supporters and sponsors of Nanritam, and all those who are present here, all of you who have taken active roles in the growth of Nanritam and in spreading the ideas that Nanritam stood for. Well, it has been my great fortune to remain associated with this organization almost from the very beginning. And it has been a marvelous experience for me. I recall, I suppose it was in 2002, Nanritam began its journey. Prior to 2002 also, some skeleton services were there. Dr. Bharati Bokshi and Ms. Ranjana Sengupta, with few other doctors, Dr. Ashish Chatterjee, they would come all the way from Kolkata, treat patients, not only eye, other ailments also, and in the evening they would go back to Kolkata. There was nothing in this area. I am a witness to it. There was no tree. In fact, we had problems in finding a shed in hot summer days when the doctors would examine the patients. There was only one dilapidated thatched structure there with 2 rooms. The doctors would sit inside, and we would find difficulties in finding a shed because there was no tree. Then the eye hospital came up. It made a small beginning, but over the years, the Lokeshwarananda Eye Foundation is recognized as one of the pioneer centers for eye treatment, including cataract operation, glaucoma, screening of patients, cornea-related diseases, particularly for the poor, particularly for the weaker segments of the society, economically and socially. Till date, I suppose more than 120,000 cataract operations have been performed in this hospital, and it gives me immense pleasure to share the information with you that 95% of the patients came from poor families, and the entire procedures, including giving them proper glasses, was free for them. That was the motto with which Nanritam was set up, to help all, to support all, be a role model for others, but primarily to support the people in difficulties and ameliorate their lifestyles. Apart from treating the patients, this eye hospital is now recognized as the nodal hospital for several districts in this area. In the initial years, along with eye treatment, Nanritam would also support small groups, mainly groups of women, in their efforts to improve their livelihood by small industries, small business. Nanritam would collect the finished product and give them direct assistance in marketing these products through exhibitions, through existing shops, and a large number of women, not only in Purulia district, elsewhere also, directly benefited from these support programs of Nanritam. You see, it was basically in the nature of adding to the family income. Maybe the family owns 3 or 4 acres of land. Land is not high yielding land here. So through small business, through animal husbandry, you add another 1000 rupees to the family. I had seen the great enthusiasm that was generated those days among the beneficiaries of this program. Nanritam also took up over the years, it's for, I suppose, for 16 to 18 years, Nanritam has been supporting the local farmers. The local farmers have a strong affinity for growing paddy. Everywhere the soil is not ideal for growing paddy. It takes lot of patience and lot of efforts to introduce alternative crops to them. The agricultural officers of Nanritam would visit the villages, spend hours with the local farmers, explain to them how they could increase their income, augment their income by switching over to alternative crops. I had also visited some of the agricultural fields those days. You see, the scientific way of cultivation was not known to many farmers. The agriculturist officers of Nanritam would go to villages, explain them the procedure of planting the seeds, nurturing the plants, and Nanritam also directly, it was direct assistance, directly assisted them in procuring good quality of seeds, fertilizers and manures. Here in this complex, there were couple of demonstration plots, and the farmers were invited to come and see things for themselves, how the yield could be increased many times by using good seeds and judicious use of manure and fertilizer. On this day, also Nanritam is maintaining several nurseries in the rural areas, in Purulia and adjoining areas, where good quality of saplings and seeds are available to the local farmers. I am told there are intentions to expand the program in the coming days. And this school project has been really a dream project. I remember those days when the school was set up. Only 2 classes. There were, I suppose, Dr. Bokshi will correct me. To begin with, there were 3 teachers. Dr. Bokshi and Ranjana would spend their entire day there and bring up, I use the word bring up, the teachers, tell them how to communicate to the tiny tots, class 1 and I think KG1 and nursery, or KG1 and KG2. It was a stupendous task to first introduce school-going habits to them, and then for this Filix School of Education, Nanritam has always believed that learning should be a joyful activity. So from the very beginning, I recall, I have seen Dr. Bokshi playing with the small tiny tots in their fancy dresses to make them happy, make them cheerful. That KG1 and nursery has now become a full-fledged high school, and the state of West Bengal takes pride in Filix School of Education. It was my good luck to be able to interact with the principal and teachers and students of this school. Apart from the curricular activities, the syllabus, that the students are encouraged in lots of other extracurricular activities. The method, Professor Kaushik Bose was also very kind. He had direct interaction with some of our students. When he comes, usually he visits the school. From the first day, the main forces behind the school, Dr. Bokshi, Ranjana, they have supported the spirit of the students to ask questions, make queries, and explain things with models and charts to make their concepts clear. In 2023, in CBSE, the students of this school performed very well, and now the STEM lab is coming, mobile making lab is coming up. What impressed me most was the involvement of the teachers and the students in all these learning activities. Earlier I had occasions to oversee the running of schools and colleges when I was in service. Such instances are very, very few. You see, 2023 results were so good. With an asterisk, I must mention that no student was required to take the help of private tutors. In Calcutta and elsewhere, a student of class 8, 9, 10, 11, these days they require private tutor support for almost all subjects, and the bill goes up, and that is the initial stage when there are discriminations between students coming from well-off families and the poor students. Here the students were discouraged to take help of private tutors. Our teachers, after a hard day's work, would take extra classes, would sit down with the students in the evening, explain to them areas where they are not very clear in their concepts. I think this is again I am saying I am somewhat familiar with the education scenario in West Bengal. In most places, the attitude is, my school is open for 200 days in a year. To the extent possible, we will cover the syllabus. Rest of it, you fend for yourself. Here, not only the covering the syllabus, the weak students were helped to come at level with the good students. And the spirit still continues. Now, the senior students, Nanritam, I suppose without any extra costs, have made arrangements for them to stay here, avail of tuition, consult teachers anytime they like. The activities of Nanritam in both health and school education over the years have spread much beyond the Para and Borondanga areas. For last 1.5 years or 2 years or so, they are pursuing a novel program, a brilliant program, Education for All. Far away in Ladakh, in Jharkhand district, in different districts in West Bengal, the teachers of Filix School of Education, they held camps with the teachers and strengthened their efforts to teach the students. There's a manual, Nanritam has developed a manual and a wonderful textbook for help of the teachers to make their concepts clear. And the West Bengal police had supported the health program actively. I don't know, education program, whether they did, na? They did, wonderful. Now, we have very eminent people present here. Your time permitting, kindly take a look at the manuals developed by Nanritam for adding to the efficiency of students and teachers. We have received very positive feedbacks from some of the districts, from the teachers, how this camp helped them in doing their job better. I hope, I pray to my God that these activities of Nanritam would further spread in the coming years. Recently, the Hope project has been taken up for the Sabar community in Purulia. Now the Sabars are, I had served in this district on 2 occasions. Sabars are, well, now these days sociologists don't use the term criminal tribes, but at one point of time they were known as criminal tribes. They did not have access to health, education, nutrition, and people had hardly any interaction with them. Now this Sabar community, Nanritam, is supporting these communities in health, education, nutrition education, livelihood. So far the program has been a grand success, and I do hope that with support of the sponsors of Nanritam, in other difficult areas, similar projects should be taken up and benefit lots of people. I would request you kindly take a look at the manuals developed by Nanritam. Lastly, in no published literature, Nanritam talks about this great achievement, sustainability of the programs. Because I have been lucky to be with Nanritam almost from the first day, from the beginning of the work of this organization in this area. I have seen at close length how, unnoticed by everybody, the local leadership grew up. Nanritam, through its health activities, through its education activities, income generation activities, over the years Nanritam could develop a cadre of very honest, dedicated, highly efficient workers. And today, well, Dr. Bokshi, Ranjana Sen Gupta, Dr. Dotto, Dr. Chatterjee, they seem to be as busy as they were earlier, but hi-fi now for lots of things. They can trust their juniors, young boys, 28, 29, 30 boys and girls. These young people have taken over a lot of the responsibilities, and that gives hope to me and to all of us that in the coming years the programs of Nanritam would continue, would add more features to it. These boys and girls, they remain in the background, but the development that has taken place in last 15 years through work is unbelievable. If you get a chance, you can interact with some of these boys and girls who are now occupying very responsible position and who are taking the glorious tradition of Nanritam ahead with dedication, honesty, sincerity. Our sponsors, the distinguished guests who are present here, are already familiar with Nanritam, and we have received a lot of encouragement from them. I do believe that in the coming years, their support, their encouragement will be with Nanritam. Kindly suggest areas where you think further improvements could be made, and your guidance, your support, your words of encouragement, those are already there, would be of great strength to Nanritam. I thank all of you, and I hope that in the coming days, your close support and guidance would be available to all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We are honored.